नमस्ते। मैं सिद्धार्थ सेन। मैं एक ऑथर हूँ, एक क्लैरिटी कोच हूँ और जीवन से मैंने बहुत कुछ सीखा है। और ये मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है बताने में आज कि ये मिलन सप्ताह मैंने शुरू किया है। इसका आज एपिसोड हम कर रहे हैं। और इन एपिसोड्स में हम लोग क्या बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जिंदगी में to find in the materialistic world we live in today. And though uh, we we find it maybe in challenges, or we find it by luck. Sometimes we have luck too, but it is difficult to do that or find it. But when we find it, it is one thing, which one thread which we can tie up to, or one thing we can always hold on to, because it helps us grow, it gives us the strength and lets us improve ourselves in our lives. So, with that little bit of introduction, I want to start with my fellow author, Renuka Nair, and she is a author of a wonderful book. I will let her talk about a book in a very short, brief introduction, and then I will have a question for you, Renuka, that what is that extraordinary moment which you want to celebrate today in this Holi Milan Saptah? Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth. So, before I proceed, I would like to say Siddharth is an absolutely versatile author, and it is our good fortune that we got to meet a person like him. So, talking about my book, well, my first book was about it was based out of Baroda. It was a setting where two women, middle-aged women, they quit their regular jobs and they join a night shift job for some personal reasons. And middle-aged women in a night shift job, how they experience the different experiences working with people who are like almost 10 to 15 years younger than them. Then the second book is about my experiences in the bank. So it is basically written from a co-author's point of view. So it, lead takes you through different people, like how some people are so straightforward, honest, Some people are so conniving. So
Hmm.
how do you, navigate through life when you face all these situations? And then I have contributed in an anthology, so that is stories of courage. So answering Siddharth, can I talk about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
defining moment of love?
Yes,
Means
yes, definitely.
unconditional love. Okay, so this
Unconditional love.
this situation of unconditional love happened in 2017 unexpectedly when my husband, who travels a lot, he was arrested in the US for no fault of his. Okay,
Oh my
and
God.
we were like shocked. It was a weekend, and he phoned me because he was allowed one phone call, so he phoned me, and it was a Saturday night for me. It was Saturday morning in the US, and I was just sitting and googling names of lawyers, and nobody was picking up my answering my call in the US. And suddenly out of the blue, so full Saturday night I didn't sleep. Sunday day and night I didn't sleep. Monday, I couldn't do anything during the day in Monday in India. And at night, the first thing when it like the office is open in the US on Monday night, I phoned a lawyer and I got in touch with the lawyer. And after such, so that lawyer agreed, I transferred money and everything. After a couple of hours, I get a phone call from a person, a number, unknown number, and I answer the call, and that person says, Renuka, I am Jack over here. Your husband is with me, and I am taking him home. And I was like, because already so many things are happening with me. So this didn't kind of register what is he saying. Okay. And then he gave the phone to my husband. And then my husband told me that, see, the court has just released me. Your lawyer, he came, he, presented my case, and the court released me. And this Jack gave the bond money of $500, based on which my husband was released from, means the court granted him, they released him on bail. And he said, like, this gentleman, he's an Indian, he's from the north, he's from Punjab. He just appeared out of nowhere, and he just picked up my bag. He's saying, my husband told me I left the courtroom and I was just standing in the snow. It was so cold, and I was just wondering where do I go, because he just had some $200 or $300 with him. And suddenly this gentleman comes and picks up his bag and says, no, you're coming home with me. And, makes my husband sit in his SUV, and then insists that he makes a phone call to you on his mobile. And then Jack took the mobile, and, Jack started crying. So
Oh my
Jack
God.
is basically a 70, today he must be 75 at that time. So this was 2017. So almost 8 years ago. So he
Hmm.
was around probably 60, 65, 66 years old at that time. He's an established real estate agent and realtor in North Dakota, the US. And he's a very rich guy. So there was absolutely no need. Okay, he spoke to me, he cried, he told me, don't worry, I'm taking him to my home. My wife is there at home. They kept my husband for 5 weeks in their house. They gave him
Hmm.
so
Oh my.
much of love. They gave all of us love, like me, my daughter, my husband's friends. They phoned everybody, spoke with them. So I can, for us, for me and my husband and my family and our friends, Jack and Charan, like his real name is Jagdish Vadavan. He and his wife Charan, they are gods for us. So I cannot talk about any other situation. This is a situation where unknown people, strangers, came into our life, and we are still friends. Now I'm going to the US next month. I will be going to their house. So I can't think of anybody else.
There's a lifetime bond. There's a lifetime bond, right?
Yes, yes.
There's a lifetime bond. So, what I also understand is definitely he would be a warm person himself to
Very
extend
much.
that much of care and and the right guidance required in a very critical situation like that.
Absolutely. It was because of him only my husband was released. Like, he was allowed to leave the US. All the charges against him was dropped because he really brought the community of that place together. And even the Republicans and the Democrats, everybody supported, and they signed petitions and all sorts of things, made representations to the mayor, and all thanks to Jack, because he was a
Oh,
very famous. realtor over there.
Wow, wow, wow. One rapid question for you, Renuka, because you are talking about US and India, so definitely you would have traveled, I'm sure.
Not
Uh,
yet. I've not yet gone to the US. I've traveled to other countries, but not yet US. US, I'll be going next month.
okay. Any fond memories of travels or with Holi? Anything which you remember?
Oh, childhood Holi, because I was born and raised in Mumbai, and it was a building with lot of children of different ages. So
Hmm.
Holi used to be a blast over there. So we used to all come down. We had a kind of a room which was in the center of all the like the towers. It was right in the center, and there was a tap over there. And Mumbai Holi is like water balloons, and they it's like it's quite a rowdy Holi. But
True.
I never celebrated Holi after I left Mumbai like that.
Oh, then this session is a very, I would say, interesting session for you,
Yes,
because we are celebrating only that too virtually though.
virtually.
But
It's
but
a
the
wonderful concept you've come out with.
yeah, but then because it is this week, it is very powerful. I think a feeling which we get the moment we call Holi hai, and Bura mat mano Holi hai, the kind of feeling we get, that
Yes,
there is no bias of anything left in our minds. We are just
right.
happy to celebrate it. So I think that is
Exactly.
where the connections happen. So thank you
Right.
so much, Renuka, for sharing
Thank
that
you.
amazing experience,
Thank you so
extraordinary
much.
moment experience. Coming to Suzanne. Suzanne is a very versatile person. I know I cannot introduce her in one word. She has too many things. She is also a lawyer. She is lawyer. She is a marathoner. Uh, she's a teacher. She's a coach. I mean, okay, Suzanne, you can continue, and then just talk about that extraordinary moment from your life.
Okay, hi everyone. This is Susan John, and I believe in not only one role. God has blessed us, God has brought us into this world for a purpose in life. I personally feel never ever in our life can we tell that everything is coincidentally, like it just happens for a reason. I feel we get connected for a reason, and there's definitely God in in everything all around us. So to me, I purposely, I mean, I every time I think of my second book that I've written said, you must be knowing, count your blessings, name them one by one. The very
Yeah,
reason why I wrote it is because many of us forget to thank God. We forget the reason why we are over here, and we forget the blessings that we get in our lifetime. And we are so busy, like talking about this, talking about that, achieving, wanting more in life, that we forget to live our moment. We forget that God has been such, given us so much of blessings in our life. To me, one such incident was when I was just maybe 19, 20 years, and my brother would have been maybe 22, 23 years. And at that time, what happened was both my parents met with an accident. And of course, we were staying in a city in Bangalore. And but at that point of time, we didn't have relatives around us. And everyone, the community around us pulled in together and helped us a lot. But at the end, towards this entire thing, it was only me and my brother, all along, making sure, since both the parents were in the hospital, taking care of the medical, taking care of the finance, taking care of the house, making sure everything is going about. And then he had to go for his job, I had to go. At that point of time, I was doing my law. And at that point of time, my dad had told, nothing doing, you are going to go and you're going to register yourself, because I had just finished my degree. You're going to go by yourself, and you're going to register yourself in a law college. And so I had to go all by myself. All this courage and everything, how do we get it? I personally feel that when you live in that faith in God, I very strongly believe that the faith in God, that, everything happens for a purpose. We never ever realize at that point of time, why and how it happens. Like, there is a whole lot of questions. We are being so faithful, we are being so good, we are praying, we are very, loving people. Why is it happening to us? We begin
Mm,
to question. So to me,
mm,
a very important, anchor in my life is God. Beyond God, there is nobody else. Of course, He gives us our parents, our spouses, our children around. Those are all unconditional love. But I feel God is there for all of us. Not only for me, it's for all of us. He takes us through, various phases in our life, makes us face certain, what you call, certain obstacles in life. It's all because, He wants to strengthen us. So to me, I would like to tell, it is God first and beyond anything. To me, everything goes, beyond anything to God. So that is it. Like, His unconditional love has changed me forever. The prayers that kept me strong, that, at that point of time, that okay, fine, everything what will happen will be cleared out by itself. And it did. In that due
mm,
course, if you read my book, you come to know, after certain so many years, I did lose my father. But then again, and that too, I was expecting at that point of time also. But I don't know, somehow there was this calm feeling that God is there. Whatever happens for a reason. We have to go through life. And that is it. Like, to me, that is one particular incident that stays in my mind forever. Like, it's etched in my mind. So
wow,
that is it. Like, yeah, that's it.
wow. So, any favorite memories of Holi you have, Suzanne?
Childhood memories and college, where we used to, run behind each other and just put, you know how it is, just
Earlier,
go and, catch hold, grab our friends and just put the holy, whether they like it or not, the color would come on our faces, like, and then, oh my God, we'll be all dressed up and, with makeup and all, how
yeah,
college is. And then this particular person comes and puts it on you, and then you take a handful and you go running behind them. And then it becomes, a beautiful, what you call, a beautiful, moments of, wonderful memories. And, I don't know, nostalgic memories just come in when it is holy. It brings in happiness, it brings in, a smile on the face. Like, and it's
yeah.
wonderful. It's always wonderful to celebrate festivals, especially holy. Yeah, that's it.
So, so are you planning to do one this time? Like,
I do not know. In the middle of the exams, hopefully, I hope so. I mean, all of us get together and, just, apply it. Like, because in Kunnur, there are a little bit of, I mean, North Indians are around, but, in campus, I stay in a school campus. It's not
yeah.
so much. And I never go out to socialize too much also. So it's
Mm,
always a very quiet, holy, like, watching and, I don't know, just watching, being with family and all that. So I hope so. I hope to go out this time. So let's see. Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for sharing that.
Thank you.
I think extraordinary. Definitely, you're talking about our connection with God, which I think everybody
Absolutely.
believes.
Yes.
Without that, it's not possible. Whatever we are doing, it's not possible. We have to just be grateful there. Uh,
Yes.
and that's why you can see on the back, my heart is full of gratitude.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's very, very
Yeah,
important. Yeah. We need
yeah.
to acknowledge God.
We need
Yes.
to acknowledge. Yeah. So
Absolutely. Yes.
coming to Supriya, uh, I know very less about Supriya, but then when she started talking, so we recently were in the Pune club when we were talking, and then with the in the Pune fair also, and she has written a beautiful book. Uh, and the moment she started explaining that, everybody was caught. Oh my God, because she said that she is stayed in outside India for a lot of time, and then she now is in India. And when she started connecting the dots, everybody was wowed with that. So over to you, Supriya, talking about your extraordinary moment and little bit about your book as well.
Lots of gratitude, Siddharth, first of all, for bringing up this wonderful concept that we are celebrating Holi full of love and gratitude. So kudos to you. Well done for that. And coming to my book, that book which you're referring to was titled Buddham Sharanam, which delves into the psychology of the daily life as to is it really possible for us as humans to lead a satisfied life or to lead a happy life, so to say? That was the question which has been answered in the book. From my side, at least, I'm not too sure if you get the answer or you don't get the answer when you read it, but at least what I can actually bet about it, it'll guide the people who are reading it in the right direction as to find their own answer to what fulfillment of life for them actually means. But when it comes to that extraordinary moment or talking of self love and love that is unconditional, what comes to my mind in the first place is myself, in the sense that having selfless love or unconditional love for myself is a prerequisite before I happen to love anybody else around me or anything else around me. And there's a particular reason for that. Wherever I go, wherever I am, regardless of the situation I am in, happy, sad, neutral, regardless of the geography, regardless of whatever the situation is, the only person, the only being that remains with me is myself.
True.
Isn't it?
True.
There will be times where even the people who are closest to you, the nearest to you, they might, with all the willingness, also may not be able to support you or do something helpful for you, something that brings you peace and calmness. But at the end of the day, it is you yourself who takes care of you. And that's why I always talk about the fact that wherever we go, the only being which is with us is ourselves. I'll give you a very small anecdote from this. It was during the COVID time when my family had moved back to India, and my dad, he caught COVID somehow, although none of us were going out and we were all indoors. But he caught COVID, and it was real pathetic one in the second wave, in the sense that no hospitals willing to admit him, low on oxygen all the time, and the doctors saying that we must lose hope now. There was nothing which could be done. So that was the instance. Somehow things came into play, and the night before that, the night before he was actually granted admission in a hospital, I was taking care of him, so I was in his room, and he was sleeping, breathing very heavily, and I could feel that he was facing difficulty in breathing. The only thing that I noticed was that yes, okay, today he is there in front of me, tomorrow he might not be there. There was a fear which comes from a daughter's perspective, which comes from a family's perspective, which comes from everything around you. I mean, father is the umbrella that protects you from everything. And the idea, the thought of losing them the next day or having a few hours to see him, I was full of fear. But then, if I would be fearful in the moment and I would not start loving myself, who would take care of my dad and my family, and who would
True.
ensure that the situation could be bettered? So, how did I love myself unconditionally in that situation where I was supposed to actually love my family in the first place? I chose myself first. I said, Supriya, you got to get rid of this fear first. Because if you have this, you cannot do anything for the people around you, your family members, even if you want to do. So, in that moment, I realized the recipe of overcoming fear is whenever we are really scared of something, let's just think of what is the maximum that can go wrong, what's the worst that can happen. And once we are able to accept what is the worst that can happen, that fear automatically vanishes.
Because you
That
crossed
fear,
that.
exactly,
Yeah.
it just vanishes because you feel that it's already through. And in
Right.
that moment, when you get rid of that fear, that situation of being liberated completely, is what actually enables you to be yourself again, love yourself again in a way that you are first taking care of yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, so that you can be supportive, you can be helpful, you can love the ones who really matter to you.
Wow. Wow. So I think beautiful way you have explained it. And this I can completely relate to it because I've seen that myself, getting rid of this fear and then the pain of losing a dear one. So it has been a cathartic moment for me, but then I was able to recover from it, bringing myself to that position where I can get rid of this fear that I'm losing every close one, whoever I love. And it's a terrible feeling which we are. But that fear, once you are outside that fear, you start accepting very easily. You start embracing very easily. Yeah. So, what is your holy moment? Like any moments from Holi you remember, Supriya?
Oh, yeah. So, what do I look like? Although I may not be acting very sophisticated today, but yes, I have a reputation for being sophisticated since childhood. And I've been the eldest amongst my cousins. So, yes, she'll be the one who will always be right and very prim and proper all the time, doing what to do, what not to do in the right place. But when it used to be about Holi, and when all my cousins would gather, again, I would be the eldest one, and I was supposed to behave in the right manner. But I would be the one who would be taking their shade and throwing those water balloons at people, bashing the people who I did not like much with those water balloons in the name of my younger cousins doing that. And I would say, no, I have not done anything. It's these ones who are doing it. I'm telling them not to do, but they're still doing it. That's what. And I
Oh
plan to
my
do
God!
this time as well. So we're planning to celebrate Holi with our extended family. And let's see if I
Wow!
get a chance to be again my childhood self.
Oh, awesome! 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 And you are from Delhi, right? So Delhi
Hey, that's
has
right.
a culture of playing the dirty Holi also. So, but it is so nice, I mean, in my family, Holi was always like ostracized. No, don't go out and play, because Holi means that you are getting dirt inside home. And my mom was very careful about this thing, that you don't get infection and all that. I was very prone to getting sick, actually, so that was
Mhm.
another reason. I used to get sick like anything. But then I think this experience of going, and in school you cannot actually keep yourself away from this, because people will
Right.
come and do that, right? And I have been born and brought up in Dehradun, so there the culture is like that. They will play Holi like anything. So by the time I will come out from the school, it will be like I will be completely drenched. And even I couldn't recognize myself. Forget about people recognizing me. I'll tell mom I'm there. So
And how many white shirts have you spoiled of your school uniform playing that Holi?
oh, many, 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 many. And these are like colors which don't go, now.
Yeah.
And now also it is like that. But in Bengalis, and maybe that is why I very proudly say about this, that Guru Rabindranath Tagore, who the Nobel laureate, he had this festival celebrated in a very different way. So we call it, like, not like the color Holi, we call it the flower Holi. So we
Mm.
use flowers, and that is actually the purest form of Holi, even played in Vrindavan, when Krishna was playing that in his time. That is what is said. They used to play with flowers, and that was the kind of Holi he used to play in Shantiniketan. Is a place where he's put up his place, and the university area is there. So they used to celebrate this with that flower Holi, and it was such a beautiful experience. My mom used to talk about that, and very I had this very deep desire to go there someday and see this Holi. So some year we actually went there during this period, and in Bengal it is called Dol. The festival Holi is called Dol, and Dol is about throwing each other flowers, and that is the Holi which we are playing. And we have they are celebrating by singing songs and dancing on the street, and they come out on the street and do that and spread flowers to all the places. So that is so beautiful. When you watch it, actually you feel like you don't want to get dirty, but you want to experience this. And then you get that feeling that you are not only connected to the the festival fervor, but also the people around you, you are feeling good about that.